Hey guys, so for today's video we are doing an update on my current project pan items. Before we get started, there is a tutorial of this eyeshadow look already on my channel. It's my current go-to everyday eyeshadow look using my eyeshadow palette, of course, and I used only one brush. So if you want to see how I did this eyeshadow look, I'll link it down below for you. So I mentioned in my last project pan update that I was really struggling to use the items and I just wasn't enjoying the process very much, and I think I solved my problem. And the problem was my drawer organization. So before I had my drawers organized, I had my project pan items in one little area. I had kind of like a shop my stash in another area. I've kind of been doing like shop my stash off camera, by the way, just like on my own time for funsies. And then I had like my other go-to like staple products in one section and then all the new products in another section. So like, for example, I would have different blushes in those different sections. And so what I did now is I organized by category. You might be like, well, duh, but I mean, I feel like I'm always kind of switching around my organization. So now I'm organized by category in my drawers in front of me. So I have all my blushes together, all my foundations, my concealers, lip products, things like that. So now I find myself actually grabbing for those project pan items because like I see all my foundations together, like my 4 kind of current foundations I'm using, and I'm like, oh, I want to grab this because I want to finish this up kind of thing. So I feel like I've made better progress this month, but I'm still not exactly where I want to be. I definitely thought I would have like better updates this time around, but I do have a couple exciting things. So where should we start? So in my project pan videos, I've also been talking about other products I have hit pan on or finished that aren't necessarily in the project, and I wanted to talk about my palette really quick because I have 3 pans in my eyeshadow palette. This is the palette that I've been using off camera, obviously, for the past like year and a half or so. So I want to talk about these pans really quick because I'm super excited about them. I don't think I've hit pan on an eyeshadow. Like, I can't think of any time recently in the last 2 years I have hit pan on another eyeshadow. So for me to have pan in my palette, like, just makes me happy because obviously it's my palette and it just shows that I truly love this and I pick shades that I really grab for every time I do my makeup. So I actually wrote down the dates that I hit pan and I have pictures when like I first had the little glimpse of pan. So on March 4th, I hit pan on Basic right here, which is just my go-to transition crease shade. And then just about a week or so later, on March 17th, I hit pan on Bare in my palette, and I think this is the biggest pan out of all of them. I don't know, Basic and Bare, they're pretty dang close. Like, they're my 2 go-to shades. And then on April 29th, I hit pan on Bright in my palette. Now, the funny thing about hitting pan is that, like, my boyfriend and I always argue about what hitting pan really means. Like, for example, when I hit pan in Bright, like, it was the tiniest sliver of a pan, but that counts as pan, right? Like, in the panning community, a sliver of a pan is counted towards hitting pan. And my boyfriend just does not understand the concept of that, but I mean, that's fine. But I have pan in 3 shades. So while my palette isn't in my project pan, I just wanted to share those 3 eyeshadow pans because I think that's super exciting. Another item that I hit pan on that isn't in my project pan is another one of the Sigma under eye brighteners. Now, I did already finish a complete one of these about 2 months or so, so that was in the beginning of my project pan, but I finished it and I opened a new one, and I've already hit pan on both shades, which kind of tells me that either I use a lot of this or I use like a really heavy hand, or it's just like not a lot of product in here. And since I've like finished one and hit pan on one in less than 3 months, I think that once I eventually finish this one, I might pick up a different under eye corrector because yes, I love this, but I'm going through it so dang fast. And I don't know if that's like a me issue or if it's just, you know, is it less product in the thing? So again, while this isn't in my project pan, I do have pan in both the shades in here. And I think once I finish this one, I want to try the new NARS like light reflecting under eye brightener. That one just sounds really nice. So this one might be replaced with that in the upcoming months or so. And then an item that is in my project pan that I did completely finish, so I hit my goal on it, yay! It is the Haus Labs gel kohl liner that I have had for so long. So I completely finished this on June 7th, so kind of recently. So the thing with the eyeliner is that I feel like I kind of cheated while finishing it. I mean, I didn't cheat, it just, there were times where like the tip would break off, so I had to resharpen it. There was a point where like the whole thing kind of just like came out and I was like, let me just put that back in there. So I think it was kind of just like dying on its way out, but I mean, it's completely done. I've tried to sharpen it. There literally is no more eyeliner in here, so that's super exciting. I finished the eyeliner. But now here's a question. I have 2 other this exact eyeliner in my collection. Do I like try to pan those? Do I try to move on to something else? Like, what do you do once you finish a panning goal? Let me know. Let me know what you do. Love some thoughts. Now let's talk about the 2 foundations that are still in my project pan. Guys, like I said, I reorganized my drawers. I have been using these so freaking much and they're still not empty. Like, if this project pan over the last 6 months have taught me anything, it really is eye-opening to how long it truly takes to finish products, and it's kind of crazy. So, the Urban Decay Hydromaniac. Look at how skinny she is. Like, I am pushing product out like it's all just sitting right here. I know that Sarah Rose is also panning this, and I feel like we're at a very similar point in this. And this has truly been my go-to everyday foundation because, like I said, I look in my foundation drawer, I see this almost empty product. So I've been using it, but I've actually been mixing it with the Too Faced Born This Way Healthy Glow. Kind of off topic, but I feel like this foundation only works when I mix it with something else, and it is kind of more of my tan shade, and this is a little light, so I've actually really been liking this combo. It's what I'm wearing today. It's what I've been wearing almost every time I do my makeup. So I feel like I've said this in the last like 2 updates, but mark my words, this will be done by my next update. I promise. And then my NARS Sheerglow foundation is still going strong, but I know I'm so close to being empty. Like, when I have to use it, I have to really like tap out all the extra product. And I even used this so much over the last like 2 months because when my eyeshadow palette was launching, you guys know I did that whole collage of a bunch of different looks. I would take this foundation and put it just on this part of my eye around my face, so like the coloring was the same for every picture. So I used this foundation, was it 15 times? Is that how many looks I did? So I think I used this those 16 times around my eyeball, and there's still product left. So close. I really have been enjoying the Smashbox primerizer that I put in. What I ended up doing last time is that I marked a goal line on this, and I'm actually halfway to my goal since my last update, so that's really exciting. But I think I'm going through this pretty quick because whenever I use it, I use about 2 to 3 pumps. Let me just show you how much is like 1 pump. 1 pump is only that much, and I feel like it's not a lot. So I use 2 to 3 pumps. I feel like I just wasted that, but just rub that on my arm. And I like that this is a hydrating, moisturizing primer, but it's not too thick and too moisturized. It's just the right amount if I'm feeling extra dry. Okay, we have to talk about my Hourglass bronzer. So I'm gonna pop up the picture right here of my 8 weeks ago versus today. So if you look really closely at the picture, you can see 4 little diamonds in the center of the bronzer. And I know that that is like the pattern of the pan underneath. So my question to you is, does this count as hitting pan? Like, if you're an expert panner, tell me now. Does that count as hitting pan? Because I kind of feel like it does, but I don't see any like silver lining of a pan. Does that make sense? So I don't know if I want to say I hit pan yet, but I know I am so dang close. And like I said before, every time I use this, I'm just dipping my brush exactly in that one spot because I am determined to hit pan on this. But I'm kind of excited to switch things up a little bit too because I just got a new bronzer today. It's the new Kosas one. So I think once I do hit my goal of actually hitting pan on this, I will just start to use this one, not in my project pan, but to just kind of have something else in my drawer to use. And then for my Hourglass blush quad, I have been kind of forgetting to use this one. I've really been into the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blushes, and it's funny because like the formulas are very similar. So if you're someone who's like wanted to try the Hourglass blushes, and like they're expensive, like I get it, the Essence one are so dang close, and Essence like sent me a PR package of all of the shades, so I've just been using these ones like crazy, and I'm like, oh crap, I keep forgetting about my Project Pan blushes. And I think my original goal was to hit pan on these 2 shades, and there really is a good like dent right here on this shade, but now that we're in the summer, I want to use the more brighter shades. So I don't know, like I'm still using it, I still somewhat enjoy it, but I honestly don't think I'm gonna hit my goal anytime soon, but that's okay. Now for the NARS concealers, there was 2, and I had them in my hand and I dropped one and it rolled away and I do not know where it went. I have looked under my chair, under all my things, it's somewhere in this room, but it's actually empty. So let me tell you what I did. So I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I like to take an adult gummy and play in my makeup room. So one night I was looking at my 2 NARS concealers and I just felt like they were kind of gross in the pot and I wasn't really liking how they looked, and I just know I've had them a while, so I wanted to switch things things up. And when I am under the influence, I kind of get these like weird, just creative, different ideas that I don't get when I'm sober, you know what I mean? So I had the idea to take the pan from my Sigma under eye corrector, like I talked about earlier, that I finished, and I put my little NARS concealers in here. And I was honestly so proud of myself for like coming up with this idea, because I like this because now I have both shades side by side, because I kind of use these, like I mix them together all the time. It's just nice. It's just more compact. And I actually feel like I'm going through these faster than I was when they were in the original packaging, just because it's kind of creamier since I had to like kind of scoop out the product and stick it in here. But that's what's happening now. I have a really good dent right here in the darker shade Custard. Vanilla definitely has more product still in it, but that's what I did with that. I was proud of myself. I felt like a true like project panner for like moving an item into another like empty compact. I don't know. But I'm still using these concealers every single time I do my makeup, and I'm pretty sure it's going to take me the rest of the year to finish these concealers. I am still going strong with my Kosas Brow Pop brow pencil, and it's funny because I feel like in the past when I would use Benefit brow products, like the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil was one of my favorites for like 4 years, and I went through so many of those, and I don't know why it's taking me so dang long to finish this brow product. It is the only brow pencil in my drawer. Like I have a brow pen that I use, but if I'm filling in my brows, I am always grabbing for this, so I'm shocked there's still product left. Probably maybe like 3 more months of uses out of this. I don't know, we'll see. Can I tell you a random thing that I love about this brow pencil? And it is the caps. You know how most brow pencils, give me a second, let me find another one in my collection. Okay, here we go. So when I'm using a brow pencil, I take off both caps, right? And I put it on my desk, and my desk gets so messy when I do my makeup. But what I love about this is that the caps are the same size on both ends. So you can like interchangeably put the caps back on. Because on other brow pencils, the caps are not the same size. So I always get like confused on which cap goes on which end, and maybe that's just like a me problem, but that's just one thing I love about this brow pencil is that the caps are the same size. And then for my Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in Iconic Nude, I'm still using this pretty much every single time I wear lipstick. The progress is very steady with this lip liner. I just spilled water on my freaking pieces of paper, so now it's all smudged, which is really annoying. But the progress is the same like every 8 weeks. It's like, I don't know, maybe like a centimeter or 2 of progress on this. So I feel like at that rate, it's gonna take me the rest of the year to finish this, but I mean, I still like it. It's my go-to lip liner. And then I have my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Fussy. This is taking me forever to go through. So similar to the Smashbox primerizer, I did just put a mark of here on a goal, because I think at first my goal was to finish it, but at this rate, like I've been going at this for 6 months and the progress is so slow, just because I do have other lip products I like to use. So my goal is now to get to this white line, and I still have plenty of ways to go. I am wearing this one today. I always try to like reapply it, you know, just to get more uses out of it. So honestly, sometimes I get a little sick of this lip gloss, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna hit the goal eventually. And then I have in my 2 Rare Beauty highlighters, we have Enlighten and Exhilarate. I feel like there might be pan and Enlighten. Again, like I dip my brush in the exact same spot every time I use this, and I feel like I might see a sliver of a pan. Like I love looking so close into these to find it. Maybe next time there'll be a pan, but I mean, these are still the only highlighters that I use in my collection. But I will say, I've been tempted. Who has new highlighters? The new Give Beauty, like multi-dimensional glow. It's like a little checkerboard pattern. It looks really cute. I want that highlighter. And then Bare Minerals just came out with their version of a highlighter, part of their like Gen Nude collection, and it looks really pretty, but I'm like, I do not need another highlighter. I have these. I love these. That's also kind of a weird thing to say because I've never been tempted by a Bare Minerals product before. You know, like Bare Minerals is not, they're just not an exciting brand. So I have 2 products left in my project pan, and these ones I'm having issues with. So let me tell you what's happening. So I have the Saie Beauty Sun Melt Bronzer in Light Bronze, and I think I put this in my project. Was it my last update or the one before? Unsure. But like I said, when I organize my drawers, I now have all my cream bronzers together. And so let me show you what I have in here. So in my little tub here, I have my Saie one, my project pan. I have my Makeup by Mario one, which I clearly love. I hit pan on it earlier this year. And then I have the Makeup Revolution one, which is like my favorite. And then I have the newer e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour Wand. And I find myself, whenever I'm going to do my cream bronzer, I grab for the Saie first because I know that's in my project pan. I just hate the way it looks though. I just feel like the color is really, really light on me, and I also feel like the pigment has like disappeared. Whenever I go to apply it, it barely shows up. Okay, watch this. Is this gonna do anything? And I also just don't know, maybe I've just been like fake tan too much, so it's just really not bronzy for my skin tone, but you see what I mean? Like that's not a bronzer. So while I did make more progress on this, I find myself just not liking the product, and I don't want to have a product in my project pan that I don't like, because what's the point then? It's not fun. And so I think I'm gonna roll this one out, and I actually might declutter it, because like I said, those other 3 ones I showed you, I love those cream bronzers. Like I've been grabbing from the Makeup Revolution one all the time, so I think I'm actually gonna declutter this cream bronzer. It's not good anymore. And then I think in my last project pan I put in the Urban Decay foundation powder in the shade 20 CP. I don't think this is available anymore, but the reason I put it in because I was liking it using this powder kind of blend around my eyeshadow, and there were a few times in the last 2 months where I tried to kind of like maybe set my under eyes with this, kind of use this to like carve out my contour and bronzer, and I just feel like it looks really ashy and it's almost too pigmented. Because here's what I realized, I think I was trying to use it really similarly to the Charlotte Tilbury powder that I love, just the airbrush flawless finish, but this is technically a foundation powder, so it has a lot more pigment and a lot more coverage, and I just don't think that's what I'm looking for, and I realize I don't use these in the same way. I thought I did, but I definitely don't. So once I came to that realization, I just have not been grabbing for this because I don't think I have a purpose for this in my makeup routine, if that makes sense. I would even try to set my eyelids with this before I go in with eyeshadow, and it doesn't look good. It's not what I need. So I think I am going to roll this out of my project pan. Like the purpose is a foundation powder, but I don't use foundation powders as a foundation powder, so I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. All right, so that is the current update for my project pan. Let me know your thoughts, and I swear by next time I will finish that Urban Decay Hydromaniac. Mark my words. If you are also doing project pan, I would love to know how yours is going, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.